Half a day, I'm Chris Barnett, and welcome to the Chris Barnett Show. Boy, what a show I have in store for you guys. We're going to show you the money following campaign cash and tracking the spending power of sitting senators. But first, we kick it off with a special report. Can we trust the Chamorro Land Trust? Here's more. Controversy surrounding the Chamorro Land Trust Commission's awarding of leases for prime property in Barragata Heights. DPW putting the brakes on building an access road to the properties after it was revealed the agency didn't have the proper permits from EPA. Now it appears employees of land management and their relatives may be getting the hookup. Department of Land Management Director Michael Borja was shocked when I told him the results of an investigation into who was awarded leases for lots in Barragata Heights.
I would like to have full disclosure from everybody. It's not a big staff I have, but give me full disclosure. Who is it that you have that's on this list?
Cross-referencing staffing patterns for land management and the Chamorro Land Trust Commission, able to find out several employees of the agency and their immediate family members received Chamorro Land Trust lots in Barragata Heights.
We'll be looking into what these guys are doing. On the most part, they're on the up, but some of the findings here are going to point out that, maybe there needs to be another level of vetting.
Land management employees Glenn A., Matthew Leon Guerrero, and Stephanie Duenas receiving land trust lots in Barragata Heights, and it doesn't stop there. A's daughter Chelsea received a lot. Duenas allowed to exchange her inaccessible Pocket land trust lot with a Barragata one. Duenas' nephew also receiving a lot, and land management employee Albert Pasquale's son Gilbert also received a lot. Land management employee George B. Tydenko's nephew Kikoa also got a lot. And if that wasn't enough to make you say, both of land management employee Catherine Berseman's sons received lots. And land administrator Margarita Vergara Borja's daughter Mariah V. Borja also got a lot after she switched places with someone on the waiting list. Most of this information news to Director Borja, and he admits it does look like land management employees and their families are getting the hookup.
Yes, I guess you can make an assumption that it's beyond coincidence, but it's not. I don't think it was a concerted effort for us to try and find places for people to get the best choice property.
Borja defending it, saying people who got lots in the area have applied since 1995. But a review of information from Borja's office shows that's not exactly the case.
So the relationship of this community, I don't know. It's a good one to pick on.
And he says preferential treatment was not the reason DPW was clearing an access way to the property.
No, not at all. No, it wasn't. Again, I told you, it's because we already had a huge cleared general easement, primary easement leading into the area.
And despite all the evidence to the contrary, Borja says the high concentration of land management employees and their family members receiving lots in Barragata Heights has nothing to do with the fact Gov Guam was rushing to provide access to the area.
These guys are in the middle of a jungle. They have no water, they have no power, and they don't even have an access.
You guys were in the process of getting all that to them.
Just opening up an easement. That's all we're doing. There's no water or power in there. Just clearing it.
But isn't that the first step? To get the easement and the road in there, and then everything else kind of comes after that?
Well, we'd hope so. Stop thinking Barragata Heights. What is the difference between Barragata Heights and anywhere else?
I just feel
seriously.
Like
Borja saying he wasn't aware there were so many relatives of agency employees getting land.
Several of them I knew about. Some of them, I wasn't familiar with the relationship of the individuals to an employee in the department.
After talking about this issue for over an hour, Borja finally admitting to me he signed off on one of his own family members' leases for land in the area.
My sister.
Borja's sister, Catherine Borja, receiving a Chamorro Land Trust lot in Barragata Heights.
Her name came up on the list.
Was it done properly?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel like you should have recused yourself from handling that, or maybe had the deputy sign off on it?
Probably.
So why didn't you think?
It was convenience.
And the kicker, Borja's sister isn't even living on Guam.
I called her up. If you look at her lease, I signed it as the power of attorney because she recently moved off island to take care of her kids in school.
But Borja sticking to his story, saying land trust protocols were followed when it comes to the first come, first served practice. He says if names on the list were skipped to get to land management employees and their relatives, it's simply because the people who were skipped didn't have updated contact information.
Get a hold of us, give us the updated information so we can move forward in trying to find you a place.
He assures those of you who have been waiting years for land trust land, you don't have to have a connect to get taken care of.
They don't have to have a connect. And if anything, as I mentioned to you, there's the vast majority of these people that are getting these properties don't have any connect, especially even in the same area we've been talking about.
But Borja says he'll still have a sit down with his staff, and they may have some explaining to do.
Well, first of all, I'll enlighten them that they'll probably hear their names pop up here in the near future. Just be aware. I mean, they all know there's scrutiny going on. They all definitely know what's going on here. And that's what I told them from the very onset when I came in. I said, if I don't get this, if you guys don't do this the right way from the onset, it could be an oversight hearing, it could be something like this in the media, it'll come out one way or the other. And then what's gonna happen? I'll take the fall for you guys, but don't put me in the way of having to trip in that fall, because it won't be a pretty sight. Now, I'm not going to go out there and I can't fire people, but it is not something that is putting us definitely in a good light, and so there's got to be ways to improve.
The Barragata Heights Land Trust property, right next to some of the most expensive homes on Guam, and with panoramic views, it's easy to see why land management employees and their relatives want to get in on the action.
And they want to get into other areas too. There may be relatives of employees that just happen to be in Dedido and Jigo and Yamatic. I don't know. There's properties all over the place. You guys have just selectively wanted to select this whole area to focus.
Borja saying there are plenty of land trust lots to be had, and it has nothing to do with the fact it's an election year.
Oh, no, not at all. No, it isn't, Chris. And I really am saying that there's no political pressure for me to ramp up these things.